too. Amazing. Good job. Okay, I want to welcome you here today. We have some awesome special visitors who are going to present some really important information for you. And parents, thank you for those who are able to join. And it is also being videoed live. We appreciate Jody Jones from the district office who's coming over and doing that. I'm going to turn the time over to Mrs. Ames, who is going to introduce and give you a little bit more context of what we're talking about, and more importantly, why we're talking about it. Just a couple of rules to just remind you of our expectations when we're in the auditorium. Okay? Today is one of those times where your voices are off. Unless any of these guys ask you to interact, your voices are off. That's how we show respect, right? Number two, we show respect for our surroundings. This auditorium, we do that by keeping our feet down off of the furniture. Okay? That means seats. Okay? Keep your feet on the ground. Don't push against the other person's seat. Please give them your most attention. Okay? Got it? Just 2 rules today, but it's all about respect. Okay, Mrs. Ames, thank you so much. Okay, so McGuire, can you tell me what that says up there?
Digital citizenship.
Digital citizenship. What do you guys think digital citizenship means? Yeah, back there, I can see your hand. I don't know your name.
Maybe like being nice on the internet?
Yes, very good. What were you going to say? Information about things that you can do on the internet or use with digital devices. Good. Did you have something, Kate? No? McGuire?
It could mean like non-toxicity or something like that.
Okay. So, well, one more back here.
So it's like useful with your citizenship about how good or bad it is, but like when like you're on the internet, it's different how good it is.
Yeah, we talk a lot in school about our behavior, right, which is our citizenship, that we act with respect, right? But we also have to extend that to our behavior when we're online, whether we're using a social media app, we're using the internet, or we're texting friends. We have to be good citizens when we're online as well, and that's what we're here to talk to you about. That's an important part of educating you, is to not just be good citizens in your classroom, but also when you're online. So we have a program here at the school. We have the student-to-student tutoring program. And so I asked those high schoolers if they would come today and talk to you about some of the social media apps that they use, and just what they think are the pros and cons of using those apps, and things that you need to look out for, things that are good about them, but also other things that may be a negative, especially for someone at your age. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves, and then if you'll listen to them, they're going to just give a little information about 5 different apps that are probably the most used by high schoolers right now. And then we'll turn the time over to our resource officer to talk to you a little bit more about some of the potential consequences if you aren't a good citizen when you're using digital devices, okay? So I'm going to let them introduce themselves, and it's great to see you.
All right, so like Claire said, we're from the high school, and we're just going to talk to you about some apps we're going to use. So I'm Callie Clegg, and then we'll have Aspen Ames. We'll have Sage. Then we'll have Justin.
Thank you.
And then we'll have Chloe too. So we're just going to talk about some apps that like we use a lot and that maybe some of you use too. And just, yeah.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chloe Crawford. I'm a junior at the high school, and I'm here today to talk a little bit about Snapchat. So for those of you that don't know, Snapchat is a form of digital communication by Instagram direct messaging and iPhone iMessages. So some pros about Snapchat is everyone most high schoolers use it, so it's a great way of communication with your peers. And there is a form of camera roll on Snapchat called Memories. You can use this to store photos. There are also some fun filters. And then some cons are the photos disappear once you open them, unless they're saved. And also the snaps usually expire after 24 hours. So those are some things to consider with Snapchat. For me personally, a con about using Snapchat is that when you open a snap from a stranger, you have to be a little bit careful. I just recommend completely ignoring strangers friending you. Because when I was younger, I opened a snap to a really inappropriate photo. And for me as an 8th grader to see that, it was not the most perfect thing. So I definitely recommend staying away from strangers, and if that ever happens to you, block them and completely ignore that. A pro about Snapchat, however, is all the memories I have. So after a year, those memories will show back up. You can see your 1 year ago or 2 years ago, stuff like that. And it's really fun to see how much you grow up and your friends when you were younger. So that's definitely a pro. And yeah, that's about it. So I'm going to turn the time over to Aspen.
I'm sure you all heard about TikTok. Probably right now, currently, the biggest social media app. You don't know what it is, you swipe through endless videos, like it literally never ends, and it's just like 15 to 30-second videos of literally anything you can think about. The pros is there is a lot of fun and funny content on TikTok, at least from my experiences. Great time to pass time if that's what you're interested in doing. That's also a con as well. And there are things to appeal to a lot of people, and that can also be a con, but so based on things that you like and things that you save and share and things like that, it will recommend more videos like the things that you've interacted with, so that TikTok develops sort of a database on you as to what you like, and so it can know what videos to put on your For You page to keep you on the app longer. So I'm not sure if you guys knew this, but TikTok, if you actually read the user agreement thing that you sign before you get the app, you have to click I accept. If you actually go through and read it, I mean, no one goes through and reads the fine print on all the stuff you have to click, but TikTok has access to all your photos, it has access to communications on your phone, your data, passwords, and many other things. TikTok is infamously known as like the social media platform that has the most information on you. And that can be kind of scary sometimes because you don't really know who it is that has this information about you. You just know that someone does. And I think it's not the smartest idea to be giving out personal information online all the time, but it's even scarier when you don't even know that it's happening to you. Another con about Snapchat for me personally was TikTok. Is like how specific it can be at times, because like I'm sure we've all experienced this, but you'll be talking with your friends about, like, say you're talking about bicycles, right? And you're talking with your friends about bicycles, and then 15 minutes later you open TikTok or Instagram or one of those two usually, and the first thing that shows up is an advertisement for a bicycle. That kind of scares me personally, and I don't know how that works, but it just doesn't seem like they are valuing my privacy if that's what's happening on their app. And it is also a major time suck. Like, personal experience for me, I'd wake up in the mornings before school and I'd sit on TikTok for 30 minutes. And by the time I got out of my bed, I felt like my brain would just been through a microwave. Like, I feel like I'd just been fried. Like, TikTok is a major time suck. It's also a very emotional roller coaster. The way their videos are structured is you could swipe and see a video of like the happiest thing you can see all day. and you swipe again and you see like the saddest video you've seen all day. And having that much emotional, like, being happy to sad that fast, not be good for us as humans, because we're not meant to just be happy sad with the swipe of a video, you know? So I think we should be careful with what apps we use. And I personally deleted TikTok mainly just because of the, like how much they have access to on my phone. That kind of scares me a little bit. It's not necessarily like nefarious, like they're trying to attack you or something. It's just that I think keeping personal information to yourself online is probably one of the basic rules of internet safety. And so I don't think it's a good idea to have your information out on the web. So that's all I have to say about TikTok. And yeah, use at your own risk. I'll turn the time over to Shay James. Okay, who has Instagram? Okay. I have Instagram too. Instagram is usually, who got Instagram as their first social media app? Okay. So Instagram, I'm gonna be honest, Instagram is probably one of the safest out there. There's definitely stuff you can see that's bad, but for the most part, it's pretty safe. There's some pros. It's safe because you can only see stuff that you follow. You can also go into your account and make it private, and there's really good privacy settings in it, so no one can follow you unless they request or send you messages or anything, so it's pretty safe. But yeah, like Aspen was saying, it does something where it just like personalizes your ads so well, like listens to you or something. It's super creepy, like you were saying with the bike. And also, I'm sure you've all heard this because this is what everyone says about like Instagram, but you'll see only like the good parts of people's lives, like only the good parts that they're posting, which I think that can be bad, but only if you make it bad. I don't think necessarily you have to think that someone's, 1 second of their life is like all of their life. You just kind of have to take it with a grain of salt. So yeah, that's Instagram. I've never really had a bad experience with Instagram personally. So yeah, it's Instagram. It's pretty safe.
Hello everyone. I will be talking about VSCO today. VSCO started out as an app of editing and just turned into an app where people could post things. So who here has VSCO right now? All right, it's not really a popular app. Some of the pros are not gaining negative feedback off of other people, as you can only favorite images and repost images. It's pretty much a positive feedback app. Some of the cons can be that you can't put your profile on a private setting, which can be dangerous at times because anyone can go onto your profile and just look at things that you're interested in. So VSCO it's not much to it. It's just really basic. It's just used for aesthetic pictures as it was used to edit, and yeah, that's about it for VSCO.
Alright, I'm going to talk about BeReal. So BeReal is a relatively new app, and how it works is like at a random time during the day you'll get a notification, and that's like when you're supposed to post, and it does a picture of you and then a picture of whatever your back camera is facing. And so some pros with BeReal is that kind of how Sage was talking about, like the glorified version of your life, where you just like post like your most highs on Instagram. This is just kind of an everyday thing, so you can see that people like aren't doing these extravagant things every day, and they're just living normal lives like us. Another pro I think to this would be that it's relatively safe. There's not a lot of inappropriate things, you do have to like request to be friends with people, and you have to accept them without, so you can't see their stuff without it. Some cons, people can comment, so just like every other social media app, people can comment and like troll your stuff, I guess. Another con is, so I had an experience where I was just scrolling through everyone's B-roll, and this girl had taken a picture, and she was in the bathtub, and when it takes a picture of your back camera, it kind of, and like, shows a wider view of your back camera, and I don't think she was expecting that, and it got posted and everything, so that is definitely a con, and it's just like every other social media, you can post inappropriate things on it, and yeah, but it's relatively safe and fun to use it correctly.
So those are all the apps that we have for today. We'll be passing the time over to this Officer Eric right here.
All right, so I've never heard of Visco or B-Real, so I appreciate you guys sharing that. That's a new one for me. How many in here have a cell phone? Does anybody not have a cell phone? All right, when you guys go home tonight, I want you to tell your parents that I think that they are awesome. There is no safe app on the internet. What do you have to do in order to get an Instagram account, or a Snapchat, or a Facebook, or a MySpace?
You have to enter, lots of private information like your email or phone number and other stuff like that.
So I'm gonna repeat so that they can hear on here. So this Shannon Klein student said that you have to enter in a lot of private information,
Kind of like emails or
kind of like emails,
phone number,
maybe a phone number,
and like,
passwords.
Anything that he missed? Okay.
you have to make an account with like your first and last name, and then your last name
So I heard, can you repeat? If you'll just repeat what they say, that'll be perfect.
He said you have to make an account with your first and last name.
Sometimes, if you already have an account made, it will, put that as an option. And like one of them said, like, most people don't even like read through the thing. So you could maybe like create it with your old account and then like, not even know that you created it.
So you're talking about the terms of service, right? That you have to agree to in order to get the account? That nobody reads through, they just check the box and click next? Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people.
A lot of things are hidden in terms of agreement. They can access your photos, they can access your phone number, they can access your location.
You have to enter your birthday, but you can also use a fake email or phone number, not your phone number, but.
You got something?
I asked my mom about how to get the Instagram account I ever got one, and then she said that you might or maybe not, but that's the reason you might or may not have to put in your phone the ID number. I wonder, like, if like, a number for your phone
That's okay. You said you might have to put in your phone's ID number. I have never gotten on an app where it's needed a phone ID number, but that's possible. So when you enter in all this information about yourself, whether it's fake or real, that information is immediately stored and it's never coming off of the internet. So basically, once you put that information into the computer and click next, I accept those terms, your information is out there forever. How many people think that Snapchat photos disappear after you see it? That's okay. They do disappear, right? You can only watch it once or twice. You can double click to see it again. Yeah. You can take screenshots, but it does tell you if they take a screenshot, right?
Yeah.
It tells you that the screenshot was taken. Yeah, that's true. And like they were saying earlier, you can access those pictures or those videos again after a year to give you memories, but those pictures never disappear. There are programs out there that I can tell you where you were at when you took the picture. I can tell you your phone number. So none of that information is safe. On Snapchat, you can see people's locations. Correct. They can turn that off as well.
I always have mine on.
You can make it just to your friends.
Whenever you download an app, like TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, it always asks you, like it always asks app to track, ask app not to track, or track. And people usually say ask app, but they never really notice it saying ask.
Okay. I have seen this, I don't know exactly where, but he's talking about when you sign up for something, and you can ask the app not to track you. That's true. I don't know how well that protects you, but I can tell you that when you take a photo or when you send a Snapchat, your location on your phone is taken. Not necessarily by the app, but it's saved in your phone.
When you're on Instagram and someone goes over and like they follow you, they can text you without even being friends with them.
Say it one more time.
When you like download Instagram or whatever, anyone can follow you, and when they do, they can just text you without following them back.
Correct. You can turn those settings off to where you can only, or your friends can only see what you post. But let's say you and somebody who wants to know you or wants to be your friend that you don't want to be both follow one particular site and you comment on a picture that somebody takes or something underneath that, they automatically have instant access to your profile.
Just so you know, there's a note all of the things that I put on my mom's and my brother's phones. They all asked if you want to practice, and I asked them and about it, and they always said no for it.
that's what I would recommend. She was talking about the tracking again, and all of her family asked the app not to track. But again, I will tell you that when you take a picture or when you make a post, your phone will track everything you do. It will track your location when you make that post, and what time.
That's for the app.
That is only for the app, that's correct.
Detective Baker, will you put your mic like really close? You are a very
Closer.
soft-spoken man, yes. There you
Okay.
go.
Who here has the most followers? Okay, we'll do it this way. Who has more than 200 followers? 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 2,000. Am I close? 3,000 followers. On what platform? TikTok. So of those 3,000 followers on TikTok, how many of those people do you think you know? Of those 3,000 followers on TikTok, how many of those people do you think you know? A hundred followers of the 3,000 you have. So 2,900 people have access to information about you. How does that make you feel? Not so good, huh? Yeah.
So, I just want to share something that really happened to someone I know very closely, very recently. They talk about Instagram being safe, they talk about you can put your site settings on private, so only people you know see it, and all these things. Well, this person that I know is a little bit older than you guys, got a friend request on Instagram. And he didn't know this person, but this person was, you know, it shows who they follow and who's following them. You can see that. Well, so he could see that people he knew was following this person. So he thought, well, I probably know this person because these are all my friends. They're following this person, so I want to follow this person. So they followed this person. The minute they followed this person, they got incredibly terrible messages back. This person didn't even live in the United States, okay? They lived over in India somewhere. And they were preying on kids because they know that you want 3,000 followers. They know that you want all these people. This person I know had done everything right. Was private, didn't, put a lot of things out there, doesn't even have Snapchat, okay, because it's not that safe. So you have to be extremely careful, the people that you follow. Even if you think you might know them, if you don't know them, don't follow them. Because they are preying on you. They want your information, and they want to get you somehow. So just if you have these apps, be so careful. Don't friend people you don't know. Even if it looks like your friends are following them, don't do it. Okay? This incident that I'm talking about happened weeks ago, okay? They're out there looking for you. Just be so careful. You guys are so young to have these apps. And you need to be diligent. And maybe before you friend people, ask your parents, do you think I should friend this person? But again, if you don't know them, they're going to try to make you think you do. But if you don't, do not friend them. Put everything you have on private and be as careful as you can. Because it's not a joke. It's serious. Okay? It's very serious. It can be. And they're fun. I agree. I have them. They're fun. But you have to be careful and you have to watch what you're doing. Okay? I wouldn't believe it if I hadn't seen it. It really happens. It happened to someone I know very, very well. Just be careful. Okay?
Detective Baker, we have some parents here, and I'm guessing online too, and I hope that they watch this. I would like to know from law enforcement, in the role that you sit in, I think it would be really helpful for you to be able to share with them what percentages of your time is taken up by trying to help those who have fallen victim to social media things, and what other advice you might have for parents.
That's kind of tough. It's obviously becoming more prevalent as cell phones and social media run the world. But I would say probably close to 40% of a normal deputy's time is dealing with fraud issues that happen from somebody getting their information off of social media, or pictures that may have been sent and now somebody's being held accountable for the picture that they may or may not have sent. It's becoming more and more every day. But there's not a day that I work that somebody's not calling in about fraud. So it's an everyday occurrence. What was the second part of your question?
So what advice do you have for parents who, their students have phones, they've given them phones, and probably for a lot of reasons, probably to make sure that they are able to contact them. I think initially the reason why so many of these kids have phones are for those reasons, as you become more independent. But what advice do you have for parents if their students do have phones?
The best advice I could possibly give to a parent with a child with a cell phone, which is probably, I'm going to have to take my own advice in 10 years maybe, is just be super open with your child. Have a policy between the two of you that you can look at anything on their phone. I know that kids like their privacy, but if they're not willing to show you their phone, they're probably doing something that they probably shouldn't be, and that's cause for concern. I'm not against cell phones, and I'm not against social media. I love both of them because they make life convenient and they make life fun. I'm able to communicate with family that I have that lives in New Zealand thanks to social media. But there are lots of things out there that you don't get to control, privacy settings or not. So, like I said, I just say have an open relationship with your child. Talk to them about it. Talk to them about the risks involved, and don't be afraid to look at that phone.
Okay, I have another question. Thank you. My other question is this. Some of our students, they don't have access to the apps that were described today, but they can text messages. And sometimes those messages are incredibly mean. Sometimes they get messages from people they don't know. So can you talk to them just a little bit about cyberbullying and maybe some of the consequences, like from a law standpoint, repeated cyberbullying, that type of thing?
Okay. So cyberbullying is becoming a lot more prevalent as we get more and more into the digital world. It's something that you don't get to control, again. Once you have a phone number and you give that phone number to somebody, they have access to it. And there's things that they can do to block their number from being able to be read, or using a different phone number so that you don't know who's doing it. On the law side, it's really hard to deal with cyberbullying, because anybody in America has the right to say basically anything that they want. Whether it's mean, whether it's nice, it doesn't really matter. You have the freedom of speech. And along with that, you don't have the freedom to harass somebody. You don't have the freedom to threaten somebody. So when it comes to cyberbullying, those are the avenues that we pursue. There's not a lot that I can do if somebody just says that they don't like a child, or that they're ugly, or that they're not smart. But if somebody is saying, I'm going to come to your house and bully you, or continued harassment after you told them to stop, then the law can do something.
So do you guys understand that? Because sometimes you'll come to me or Mr. Brown and you'll say, I got this text message and this person said this. So the difference, if I'm hearing correctly, is harassment. So we can just ask you, don't do that, see if we can help you with that. But what you're saying is harassment is repeated over and over after you've told them to stop, right?
Repeated, and they have to be told to stop. So those are the two qualifications for harassment. It has to be repeated, and you have to have told them to stop. Whether you have told them to stop, whether the principal has told them to stop, whether I have told them to stop, somebody has to say that.
Let me ask you all, if you get messages like that, what's the best thing that you can do? The very best thing you can do? I'm gonna let you think about it for 3 seconds, and then you're all going to say it. It starts with a B, ends with a K. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. That's right. You block it. Okay.
I agree, you should block it.
I'm just gonna say, I have a Oculus Quest 2, and my brother, he was playing on it just a few days ago, and he got player tracked, and there were these people that came into its lobby when he was just playing with my cousin, and they came in, they were threatening him and saying that they were gonna come to his house, come to our house and kill him, and saying all these mean things, so.
So if I understand correctly, you were saying Oculus, right? So the
Yeah.
VR headset, and you play games on it? And that your friend was threatened?
Not my brother.
Your brother was threatened? Yeah. Do you have to give personal information when you sign up for Oculus?
Yes, but that's only created in the Oculus account. Once you buy the games, it's like, you don't have any personal stuff on the games that you play, so to say. And-
Just a name?
Yeah.
So it's like Xbox Live or whatever the PlayStation one is?
So a way that you can like the text one, my mom set up this timer thing, and she controls who I talk to. And every time I want to, let's say, add like one of my friends, she has to put in the password that she created so that I can, like set it up.
Text that person.
And also, I have a question.
Okay, let me start with the one first. So on every cell phone now, whether it's an Apple, whether it's a Samsung, Google, there are parental controls, going along with what you were talking about earlier. Whatever your child has, I would suggest that you look into the parental controls and what you have control of. Some of them have really good systems in place, and some of them aren't so good. do a little bit of research online and find out what's best and what works for you. That's a really good one. I've never heard of that one before. And then what's your question?
So I have my iPad and my iPhone hooked up to the same like kind of, I want to say, Apple ID kind of account thing. And I was wondering, so like if I'm like talking to my friends on my phone, I have TikTok on my iPad, could that go straight to my iPad too, or?
If they're linked? Yeah, every time you send a text message on your watch, or every time you send a text message on your iPad, it's linked. Okay, so we're gonna have to wrap up. You guys are almost done. Like I said before, I don't want you to think that I don't like social media or cell phones, because I do. But you guys are super vulnerable right now. And so I want you to be careful and think about some of the things that we talked about today. Last question.
So, also I would say to tell your friends and maybe neighbors, because my cousin, she keeps her phone number like every week. She keeps breaking and losing her phone. So I text her and then I just have some facts from her.
So she's talking about if somebody else changes their phone and she gives a random number that, well, not a random number, but somebody that texts her from that number in her phone is logged in as one of her friends, but the actual text is coming from somebody that she doesn't know. And she responds because she thinks it's her friend. So she said to make sure you tell people when you change your number. And then, yeah, and then block the other one, for sure.
Okay, everybody, so this is, in case you guys don't know, because you don't see Detective Baker in our building as often, and that's a good thing, that this is Detective Eric Baker, and he is our school resource officer. Would you please give him a hand? And we will